When you bowl a ton of games on tour like I do, it's all about comfort and feel. That's why I choose Big 4 socks.
Find Big 4 socks at a pro shop near you or online at big4socks.com.
Mine's up there.
Ain't nothing wrong with Brooklyn's on this shit.
Those are my favorite.
Brooklyn's and break up splits. That's what I did all day.
Actually, I like those better than solid.
I'm not gonna go up with a strike every fucking on this track. He's got to break up splits. I think it's better than that. I just have to do it that day. It's down there by Timmy's. Still got that same plastic ball I used. It's still got in the truck.
That's how I know I'm playing the right one. When I carry it.
This is not hard. You just have a board left here.
Right.
Exactly. Chicken wings. Ain't nothing wrong today. That's if you get 3 or 4 in a row like that.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, now I can try to figure out how far out I can.
And you might be able to get another pool or two, right? Then you can probably find some pocket right there. I wouldn't go any further with your feet or not.
Not to hit the whole way. What the hell's the matter with you? Everybody knows that.
That wasn't a bad shot either.
No, it was not. No.
Could I take the dirty ones all damn day long?
Oh, you're fine. Gentlemen. Yep.
Hey, tell him to leave that stuff to the Dropbox.
Will do.
Yeah, look at refresh these around.
Yeah, I'll see him, and I'll be like, hey, Bill, start adding stuff. Good. See ya.
Are you like constantly switching these on?
About every 3 or 4 inches or so. It's about that time.
So what, are you fully retired now?
Left the ball in 6 years. What? I'm not here for that yet.
Alright, love you.
Toyota used to work with students. They work for students.
Because, okay, I broke into jail 2 weeks ago or whatever, right? Because Henry and Henry tried to get me fired from my last job.
All right.
Well, it's a repeating issue, so she should be let go. And it's pretty much.
You don't have the culture, right? Oh,
Everybody is
yeah, they're not even.
I saw Art
Maybe
driving by there when I was
already busting the whole world. See, at least
still. So they're just gonna keep you guys in Washington.
seven apparently. You better be with you.
I need him for the second game. I need him.
We haven't been there all fucking year.
I need him. I need him.
I'm gonna take a puff of the cigarette back there.
Two.
That ivory.
Right.
Over the years, it's taken more time than I see it. I don't need to know that. I see it. I get it.
Don't pay me to do
I used to bowl with him and Justin Olsen. Logan went to.
Oh yeah. Used to go legal.
Yeah, I think they moved to Columbus.
Hey. I said it was football going to be a gun goal. Smack the 3 pin or the 6 pin right in the face. That's close. I said, fuck, I don't know what my first hands are. I get whiskey on the plane. Shit.
Yeah, when I seen them lacing up, I was like, God damn. Shit. I didn't even want to donate.
Hello, 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 hello.
I can hear it. Say something again here. Say something here. Test, test. Test, 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 test. Testing 1, 2, test, test.
they will. Hello.
Testing 1 2.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh. Hey everybody, we're having microphone issues.
Yeah, we're headset issue here. Huh.
So is it just that headset?
It must be. Let me test. Whoa, wait, what? Wait, nope. There it is.
We're working now?
Test.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I guess.
Oh. We have.
Well, hey. No, that's the right. Oh, you got to love technology, ladies and gentlemen. We're all good.
All of our headsets work.
Yeah, now we're fine.
That was so weird.
Yeah, that was bizarre, ladies and gentlemen.
We picked up our headsets, started to talk, couldn't hear each other talk at all.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if you could hear us out there. And oh, gosh, what a day.
Oh, man. Hey, you know, we've only been here so far. We've only been here
8:30?
9.5 hours.
Yeah. We got about 5 hours to go.
Yeah. So, anyway, welcome to the Indiana Masters here from Championship Lane. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester here in the broadcast booth. And game one wrapping up here, and it's going by quickly.
Yes, it is. And spares are the name of the game right here. I mean, the cut line's not going to be that high.
Yeah.
So if you could stay out of trouble, pick up some spares to get a lucky strike here and there.
Right.
You know, you got to feel confident.
Got a couple of good games here in front of us.
Yeah.
We got gentleman here's got 192 in the 8th with a strike in the 9th. Jimmy Cook has 167 in the 7th with a double. He could shoot 250. Got a couple of 250 games going.
This is kind of that squad where some of the people who's entered a few times, you know, the first two squads will start making their moves.
It looks like Bailey Maverick, he was off to a spare fest through 5 and then now has found the pocket with a 3-bagger, 6-frame through the 8th. Mike Svilar can shoot 244 if he strikes out in the 10th. So we got some big games here in front of us that we haven't had in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're hearing, too, Chad, that the final squad is almost full.
Yeah, at the start of this squad, when Jeff was making his announcements, he said 4 spots left. And he talked to us just before he went to make his announcements. He told us 7. So
yeah.
You got to figure it's full. Which I believe that means they sold out the tournament. I know they thought maybe there was a couple people who didn't show up the first squad, but I don't know if I didn't hear if they filled it or not.
Yeah.
You know, you had Mike on earlier, and you know, to hear that other states aren't getting nearly this many entries for their Masters it's shocking, really.
Well, he was telling me like the Detroit Masters, and we're talking Detroit, you know, much bigger population, right? Detroit Masters were lucky to get like 50 to 60 entries. And now you don't know, formats could be totally different.
Sure.
Right?
Time of the year.
You know, you could have in that tournament they might have Bowlers Bowl 8 or 10 games, we don't know, right? So it might not encourage re-entry, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a 3-game qualifier, and you obviously take the top 48 scores, top 16 are guaranteed into match play.
Yeah, and when we say 48 or 400 entries, that's not 400 individual bowlers. That's counting re-entries.
Correct.
I just got a Facebook message here from Kerry Kane. It is sold out.
It is sold out. Great work again by Jeff Circle and his staff.
Absolutely.
Another successful year. And if you would like to learn more too, if you're in the state of Indiana and you're watching our broadcast and you're interested in bowling events throughout the state of Indiana, you can go to indianastateusbc.org and you'll find a schedule of events coming up. You'll have the Open Championships, and we're looking for bowlers to bowl in the Open Championships. That's going to be at Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl in Lafayette. Mm-hmm. You have the Women's Championships. They're in Muncie at Muncie Lanes, April 5th through April 28th. The Youth Championships are March 1st through April 21st. That's going to be at Pro Bowl West and Thunder Bowl in Fort Wayne. The Youth Masters in Queens is coming up. That's going to be in Indianapolis, April 27th and 28th. The Senior Championships are April 5th through May 5th in Evansville. And the Indiana Queens, the premier scratch event for the ladies here in the state of Indiana, will be March 2nd right here at Championship Lanes in Anderson. And if you want information, entry forms, whatever that may be, you can even pay online. The website, once again, is indianastateusbc.org. Also, other things coming up. Indiana State has their scholarships offered for 2024. The Indiana State USBC Star of Tomorrow Scholarship for male or female senior. That'll be based upon overall performance, service, and scholastics. The Indiana State USBC Male or Female Performance Scholarship will be awarded focused on superior performance and scholastics. Scholarship applications are due by March 31st. So if you're eligible for that, you can apply on indianastateusbc.org. So those are your things coming up. We hope we'd love to have you participate, especially in the Women's Championship and the Open Championships. Get your team together. You can bowl singles and doubles. We'd love to have you bowl all the events. And it's always an exciting time, too. And plus, you'll be able to bowl the tournament in one of the nicest bowling centers in the state of Indiana, right there in Lafayette, Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl. That's February 16th through May 5th.
Yeah, just a couple weeks away from the Open Championships beginning.
And obviously, we want to thank our sponsors. The Indiana Masters is brought to you by the Brands of Brunswick. For the latest releases and product information, like them on Facebook at Brunswick Bowling or go to brunswickbowling.com. Big Four Socks. Find your pair at a pro shop near you or at big4socks.com. Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl, bowling, games, billiards, birthday parties, and corporate events and more. What are you waiting for? Arrowheadbowl.com. And A1 Automotive. Keep your vehicle running like new. A1CarDoctors.com. That's A1CarDoctors.com. Want to thank the sponsors for participating here to make this broadcast here on Savage Bowling TV possible. And we hope you are enjoying C-Squad just finishing up game number 1 here at the Indiana Masters, the premier scratch event in the state of Indiana. 400-plus entries, and we're going to do it again, sold out. And if you aren't entered, sit back at home and watch wall-to-wall coverage until we have a winner tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, tomorrow's when all the excitement begins. Tight matches. You know, when you throw the factor of double elimination in there, it always provides some drama.
And our good friend John Verbich bowling, skipping the Indiana Masters this year. He's bowling in a PBA 50 regional in Crawfordsville. And congratulations to John Verbich. He's leading qualifying going into match play tomorrow. 8 games of match play, I believe, tomorrow, and will determine the winner. And John Verbich, a former winner here of the Indiana Masters, looking for his first PBA 50 regional. Let's keep in mind, too, he just turned 50 not too long ago, so Congratulations, John, if you're watching.
Yeah, not a bad way to start out a PBA 50 career, right?
Well, he's got a little work to do, but yes.
Yeah, but, I mean, the lead qualifying. Well, the first 8 lanes here right in front of us all finished at once. It's like 13 and 14 still bowling. That's what we're on right now.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual. It's like a whole section of lanes just emptied,
Done.
right?
Yeah.
You're waiting for somebody to come back down this way. It's going to be a late night.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
probably guessing final squad will start probably somewhere around 9:15 or so, 9:15.
About 45 minutes late, but that's expected, you know, when you have a sold-out field and you've got to re-oil in between every squad. I guess it's a good problem to have, right?
Absolutely. All right, let's see who we have down here participating on the low end of the house. Looks like we have Charles Rott, Trevor Parov, former Purdue bowling player.
Yeah, he just moved down to India, I believe.
Yeah, he's originally from Alaska.
Yeah.
Decided to stick around this area.
I mean, he's probably used to it, but being from Alaska, but can't imagine.
Yeah, cold weather don't.
Yeah,
he's used to it.
This is probably pretty nice compared to what he's experienced. People are moseying our way down here.
Yeah, you're trying to see who is on.
Don't be disappointed. You get to call my next game.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, and make sure you make reference to this jersey that is better than you, and you know it.
Well, I'm looking at scores here on 13 and 14 before this next squad next round comes in. I see 192, 156. Not much on 13, 14.
No.
Another 190 game. Oh, well.
Not that I can push my way in or anything.
No, go right ahead. Put that on.
Not that I can push it and say hello to everybody.
Yeah, well, joining us in the broadcast booth, Mr. Dave Small. And
bonjour, everybody.
Yeah. Boy, you have a lot going on here in the next few weeks, don't you?
God. Shoot me now. Put me out of my misery. No.
It's good things, though.
It's great things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great things. I mean, the Masters, it doesn't get much better than this.
Another
440 bowlers. It's going to be sold out. So
amazing, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And, you go out there and just want to beat your head against the wall because the lane condition is just so wonderful. And, it's not easy. But
no, but that's why everybody keeps coming back.
Exactly.
It's a multitude of things, David. It's the tournament director, the championship, right? It's a prestigious event, and it's also the scoring pace draws people in, and also your center is a wonderful host. Mm-hmm. A lot of nice amenities here, and great food, and great bar, and hey, it's a culmination of everything, right? It's a bowling tournament, but it's also a social event as well.
Oh, definitely, and it's crazy today. We love it. It's very enjoyable, and we love being the host. And this is my 9th one here, if you can believe that. My 9th Masters.
Well, as long as you won it, I believe it's going to be here.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's not going anywhere. That's one of the agreements we have is, the location's fantastic. It's easy to get to. There's a lot of things to do. It's well run. It's one of the best well run tournaments in the state, and it's the most prestigious.
Absolutely,
honestly, it's most prestigious. You were champion last year, I believe, Scott.
Senior Masters. Yeah,
but still, you've brought home an eagle, and you've always bowled well in this tournament here. You've always bowled great.
Yeah, I got 4 second-place finishes in this thing.
We just got to get you over the hump, buddy.
Yeah. The problem is, Dave, we get older, and it gets tougher.
If you can believe this, I've known you for 15 years now.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Time flies, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, not only do you have the Masters, but you got Indiana. You got the high school bowling state finals.
Then
you got your own PBA event coming up with a live televised final, and then you have right after that you have the Queens.
Yeah, the Queens, and don't forget Super Bowl doubles next weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got
every weekend's full for you.
High school regionals and state up in Michigan for 2 weekends, and then we open up the youth state at Fort Wayne. So we're a bit busy. We're a bit busy right now, but
it's a wonderful time of the year for bowling.
It is. It absolutely is.
You have this time frame from mid-January to late March, mid-Feb or April. Tournament bowling is at its peak. Just a lot of great events, and everybody marks this one on their calendar. This is a can't miss.
No, this is definitely a can't miss, and you got to get in early or you're not bowling.
That's right.
Or you're going to bowl, or you're going to have to chase it at some point. The first 2 squads were sold out weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to come to a point where it's just the other squads are going to get sold out ahead of time.
And 3rd squad was sold out this morning.
Yeah.
And 4th squad sold out now. And it's 440 bowlers. Probably 185 to 200 unique players.
Well, one thing that I know you always like is I was talking to Jeff Circle earlier this week, and he had 65 new bowlers.
Yes,
signed up to bowl. That's an amazing statistic to me.
That's huge.
One thing you factor in is there's 100 entries because half of those are going to re-enter.
That's right.
You assume as a tournament director, half of that's going to re-enter, and that's just a lot of new bowlers that have never participated in an Indiana Masters before. And as many years, like you just said, 9 just here, right? It's hard to believe. One thing it's been going on a long time was when you look at your masking units, and you can go all the way down there and you see a banner.
That's right.
And that just shows you how long these events have been going on. Not only this, Scratch Classic, and now you have Senior Master banners out there too, but there's a whole lot of banners that have come from this bowling center right here.
And that's why we named it Championship Lanes when we bought it in 2015. It was a very fitting name because of what this center has hosted over the years and the champions that it's produced and the different events that it's hosted for ever since it opened. This center opened in 1978, and the original one was across the street. That was 16 when it opened in 1959, and then it was expanded in 1961 to 32, and they needed more room, so they came over here in 1978. So we're 46 years old. God, I'd say that. Wow.
Right.
I turned 52 this year, so.
I remember bowling here in my youth. I always loved bowling here. And it was long before you came around, of course. But
Did we have urethane balls back then, or did we still use
yeah,
wood?
I was throwing urethane. Purple. Purple. The old original purple hammers and the blue hammer.
Oh, that was my favorite ball when I was growing up.
Yeah, we always loved coming here as a kid, bowling TKOs and state tournaments and stuff like that. So.
Well, I know, Dave, you're a big supporter of the PBA. Couple of things. First, what is your thoughts on the Final Five field tomorrow at Woodland? How would you like to have that field and your Final Five right here at Championship? Would that be amazing?
That field, if you look at that field for this generation, you can't get much better than that.
No.
I was very fortunate in 2017 in the PBA 50 in Fort Wayne to have the field that I had for the top 5, which was Weber was on top, followed by Duke, followed by Monticelli, followed by Parker Bone, followed by Walter Ray. I mean,
a whole lot of titles right there.
Oh, I was 190 some titles, and no effort there or anything.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see. I mean, I talked with Nick Hoagland, who designed the patterns at the U.S. Open, and the cream's going to rise to the top regardless of what you put out and how difficult it is or how easy it is or whatever. The cream is always going to rise to the top. But, wow, that's going to be a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll be playing it. I'm sure we'll be on every TV through this place.
Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible to see, like EJ, we were interviewing him, and he just made a comment about 89 titles, 28 majors. And the thing that you don't think about is how young that top 5 is as a whole. Those are young guys. I mean, Belmonte's the oldest guy on the top 5, and most people don't realize that he's in his 40s.
No. And the horrible thing is, Scott, you and I could be dad to a few of those guys.
Yeah.
Few of those kids.
Anthony Simonson, absolutely.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
He is the most talented bowler in the world, in my opinion.
It is sick what he can do with a bowling ball, one way, backwards, however he wants to do it. It's sick. It's sick what he can do. And
yeah, you just can't shut him out. He just has. Well, that's why they call him the Swiss Army knife. I mean, he just has so many tricks that he can do, and he's good at every one of them.
Yes, he is.
We all talk about, what's your B game? Well, we might have a B game, but it really isn't very good.
My B game right now is throwing it between my legs. I'm throwing it like garbage right now.
And he, it's just the way that it's amazing how they can master everything that they do. It's incredible. But yeah, you have a big stop coming up here. How exciting for you as a proprietor to have a Fox FS1 here to bring a live show into your bowling center?
I'm truly nervous as heck about it, to be honest. There's so much work that goes into it that you don't realize. Like the old days, or I should say the ABC, when we grew up, it was a couple of lights, a couple of camera platforms, and some bleachers, real simple. Now it's a production. My understanding is we're getting 5 semi-trucks. I'm going, oh my, that's a lot. And removing of scoring and fans and lights and pedestals and ball returns and, oh God, please all work when it goes back in.
I know. Wait a minute, that screw was tighter when it was
exactly
when it was in there before it came out.
Exactly.
Well,
so
we saw all everything that goes through at Woodland, and they just take everything out of that whole area, and it's 10, 12 lanes.
It is
worth, and they just got it.
And we're down. Our championship here is 37 and 38, so we're going to be way down on that end of the house.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous about it. I'm excited and nervous, but at the same time, it's going to be fun regardless.
Well, it's an exciting time.
It is.
As a host of the PBA, you've done many, and you've never had a live finals on major cable network, right?
No.
It's exciting.
It is. It's actually my this number will scare you, Scott. This will be my 89th tournament. So this is my 89th PBA event, and yeah, it's our first live show. So, yeah, I'm a little nervous, and I got to lose another 10 pounds just for the camera because the camera puts 10 pounds on you. So, got to get 10 more off so at least I look halfway respectable.
A lot of crunches, I guess, right?
Well, the serious joke behind that was when we had the Dick Weber Championship in Fort Wayne a few years back, and I walked out the lane to hang the Dick Weber banner, and they showed it live on back then on oh Lord, the name's
Extra Frame.
Thank you. The name slipped in my mind. And they made the comment of, the camera puts 10 pounds on you. And I said, Jesus, how many cameras did you have on me? And, oh, boy. So, no, we're excited. I know the community's excited. So, the hotels, the restaurants, the casino.
Absolutely.
All the bowlers are excited. So, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. Very good time. And we're seeing, if we're looking at the Masters, we're seeing the same scoring pace that we always see.
Yeah.
It's
no surprise.
No surprises. Jeff really doesn't change them over the years. They're pretty similar. And
well, it's great for us. I mean, you provide everything that we need here conveniently. We've got our internet and everything else set up, and we're right at home. Of course, we're here for 25 hours of a weekend,
25 hours of uninterrupted coverage of bowling.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Bowling, and more bowling.
Dave, thank goodness it's interrupted because I gotta get some sleep in there. You know?
Oh, I know.
But it's exciting. We're happy for you because I know this is a big deal for you, and you've been a great supporter of the PBA Tour, and obviously too. I think it's pretty cool that when you look at the PBA 50 schedule, I know you don't have as many stops, but you have the big one. You have the World Series of bowling for the PBA 50 Tour at your center up in Jackson, Michigan.
Yep, we're going to bring. We were excited to get that again. 4 titles to be given, and I think the prize fund is pushing $250,000 this year. So, Scotty, you needed a little road trip this summer.
You know what I got to do, Dave? It requires me to bowl in the summertime.
He's been talking about it.
I'm thinking about it.
You should. You should.
You know any nice places to stay up in Jackson?
Oh, God, yes. If Solomon's listening right now, you can stay with Solomon. His house is only 5 minutes from the center, so he's fine. He's got an extra bedroom.
Oh, goodness.
He's got an extra room, and a shower. So
I'm good.
You're
I'm
good
golden.
on that. You're good on that.
Well, I was looking at the PBA 50 results from Gary Allstott's place there, or used to be. Is it Gary's again in Crawfordsville?
I think so.
Yeah.
He still has it.
Yeah, John Verpich is leading after qualifying there, and so I had talked to John about maybe rooming in Jackson, Michigan I know he bowled the event last year for the World Series, and I thought I should give it a shot at some point.
I think you should.
I mean, you want to do it while you're in your young 50s and still feel competitive, and I'd like to participate in it. I think it's towards, July, 3rd week of July or somewhere around there?
4th week of July, yep.
Yeah.
Towards the end of July, yep. So it's a great tournament. We did the initial one last year, and we learned from it. The tour learned from it. I learned from it. So we're able to make some changes and tweaks to make it just a little bit better this year. And we had 194 entries last year, which is bigger than the Open. And so we can accommodate in that center 216 is the number that we can accommodate in there with 54 lanes. So it's pretty cool. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, we had 4 different champions, 2 first-timers, and that made it really, really cool. This will be interesting here because no one's defending.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we've only got one this year. Hopefully, I've got a meeting with Tom Clark when he comes here. We're going to talk about a couple other things. Crossing my fingers, and because it was very difficult to, the first place that the tour wanted to go obviously was Jackson because Jackson's just got so much with the size and everything and the history there. And the dates that they gave me, it was we couldn't. We have high school regionals. We have 400 kids coming. I'm going, I can't do that. That won't work. Can we find a different date? They're like, no, this is your date. I said, okay, fine. So then we talked about Kokomo. Obviously, they've been to Kokomo as well. And with the show and everything going on, they needed a little bit more space than what Kokomo has. It's a smaller facility, not lane-wise, but just size-wise.
Yeah,
so we couldn't quite accommodate what they needed. So it was, okay, let's go to Anderson. Come on. So they're excited, and I got to see the guys Monday down at Woodland. I went down this week just to say hi and, talk to the guys, and a few lots of hugs and lots of questions and a few games to grab butt, but that's how the guys are with me, Daddy. Hey.
Well, and I'm sure too it's it's really cool to see the PBA go to different cities, different centers than they traditionally do. They're going to Mount Prospect this coming week, and then they're going to Missouri for Pete's, and then they're going to come back here, and then they're going to go to Delaware. It's kind of nice to see them going to more towns like they used to in the old days of the PBA Tour. Now before it just pretty much was the same 8 or 9 centers,
yep.
And it's nice to see them going to different locations and spreading the tour around a little bit more, I think.
I agree with that completely, and I think what's going to be really neat about this place, and most of I'm sure our viewers have seen, the pin carrier championship is ridiculous. You can trip a 4-pin and throw the pins around here quite easily. So when we bring the best in the world here, and we're putting them on a 37-foot pattern, which the gutter's going to play pretty much open, I think we're going to see some absolutely ridiculous scores in here, not simply because of the condition, but obviously the talent. And they're gonna throw some pins around in this house.
Oh, you're gonna have some massive rev rate.
Oh,
coming into this building.
Yeah.
You got a lot of rev rate with some of these guys here too, but those guys, they just break the pairs down a little bit differently, and there's a lot more strategy in play, and obviously, but it should be an exciting week. If you're interested in coming out here to Championship Lanes, starts the 19th is.
18th is the Pro-Am and setup and everything, and then Monday is PTQ practice, and also that night we're doing 2 rounds of the teams.
PBA League?
The PBA League. So, so it's going to be an event-filled week. Friday will be basically setup day for the show. We're having a really cool VIP party that night. Just to meet the top 5, meet the pros, kind of an additional piece of it, and then Saturday is the show at 7:30 live on FS1. So
yeah, I like I do like the late night start, kind of in a sense, because it's in prime time.
It's in prime time, definitely,
and I think it's kind of nice too. You won't have any football to go up against. It's you and you alone when it comes from that standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
So I would expect viewership to be high, and hopefully for you, you have a great 5 on your TV show. And, you talk about the 5 that are at Woodland Bowl. Yeah, it's the who's who. It's the 4 best players in the world, and O'Neal, the way he's bowling, he's pretty much a top 5 guy right now, the way he's performing. But, you got some really good young talent that I think a lot of people would be interested to see, too, on a telecast, and if you happen to get a couple of those guys, that could be real exciting too.
I think no matter who you get, it's going to be exciting, because like we always said, the cream rises to the crop.
Oh, yeah.
The cream rises to the crop. The cream rises to the top, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
We have standings.
Yeah, we got some game 1
standings.
Well, Trevor Parov shot 236 his first game. Billy Hibbert 235.
There you go.
Jimmy Cook right there with 234. It's good to see Jimmy bowling again. He's been hampered by a bad foot, so he's been out for a little while, but he's made the trek back. Ryan Allender 232. Brad Slayball 227. Corey Dick 220. Matthew Wilhite 218. Cameron Clark 216. And Rodney English with 214. So right now, if that was it, and those were your pluses, you're looking at plus 20 in the top 16. And 48, and I'm not taking out any duplicates here, would be -8. So, but that's going to change quite a bit here. So
it always does.
Yeah, there's a lot of fluidness to scoring here because you got to go. That's one thing that Jeff does is you migrate through the entire house. You're going to go from one end of the house to the next. And as you know, in your center here at Championship Lanes, definitely some different type of lane play per sections. You get down from one end of the house, one end's a little bit tighter, one end hooks a little bit more. So that's the cool thing about, I think, the center. You know, one that you used to own years ago where we met, that we had the Ebonite Lafayette Open in Lafayette. And, you know, it was one of those where the center was so unique. That's what made the event. So sometimes you move this to another center and it's not going to be the same. And the bowling center makes a lot of what makes the tournament great, in my opinion, too, because it has those little special things to it that make it tricky. And that's probably why you see a lot of the scoring pace the way you do. And, of course, when you get that, you get 400 entries.
That's exactly right. And the Lafayette Open was always a great, great, great event. Scott hosted that for many, many years, and I was privileged to host 8 of them.
Yeah, you hosted a few.
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So I guess I was at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we always designed this pattern that was just brutal.
Yeah, they were tough.
I still think the best pattern we ever put out was the 32-foot flat up front. We were a year ahead of where the PBA was on the Bear, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's too dry." It's like, no, it's not, guys. It's eventually coming. Don't worry. You know. But I remember the one year we opened the gutter up. We never opened the gutter up before, and we made that just. You had the 2 board. That was it. 3 board was out of play, but if you hit 2, you were going to be okay. You know, so we were always put down, something crazy. And I'd design it, and Scott would approve it, and we'd run it, and he paid a lot of money out.
Yeah, we paid a lot of money out, and we were drawing 200+ entries for the event on a yearly basis, and people have asked me here recently, are you going to bring it back? And I appreciate a lot of the people saying, oh, it was a great event, we miss it. But, again, that center made that event the way it was.
Yep.
Because every pair played differently. Sometimes the left lane would be different than the right lane, and it was just guys that liked the challenge. They embraced that event. They knew coming in, it's kind of like the Indiana Masters. You shoot 620, you're in good shape, right? You don't have to come out here and shoot 740, and if you miss twice, you're losing pins to the field. You shoot a 2-0, 210, 220 game, you're gaining ground. So that's what made it. It was a lot of fun. As they always say, all good things must come to an end. And
how many did you end up having, Scott?
I was on my way to, I think, 23 or 24.
I think.
I was hoping to get to 25,
I
but
think we were 2 years away from 25.
yeah, COVID kind of took that away from us.
Unfortunately, that took a lot of things away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that event in Lafayette was always a lot of fun and challenging, and we enjoyed it. We enjoyed hosting it. But, Scott, you're exactly right. When it is sometimes the venue that makes the tournament. And
yeah, if it would have went anywhere else, it would not have had the same feel.
And I think that's why the Masters here, it'll never move. I mean, if it goes to another house, another city or something like that, you may not get the same result that you get in Anderson. And plus, the casino's right across the street, so the guys can go gamble too.
But you're also thinking to yourself, in what planet would you ever consider moving an event that has over 400 entries and sells out every year? I mean, that's just crazy to think. And,
sometimes people don't use the best judgment when it comes to things. It's kind of like sometimes when you look at where we, not just our state, but other states, when it comes to state tournaments or big events, some of the centers, when you go on a price-driven model, it's a lose-lose. for not only the bowler but for the tournament. If you go on a price matter, if it becomes we're going to take the lowest bid to host a tournament, then it's a lose-lose for both the bowler and the tournament, because you're going to end up going to a facility that might not have what you want or have what you need to support the tournament. And that's been something I'm glad that we've been able to get away from over the years, is to get that understanding out there that it's not just a price deal, guys. You want to have the best, you want to put on the best event, you have to be expected to go to a good place, but you're also going to have to pay a little bit more. And that's been a fight with, lots of tournaments and people and stuff. And we all know that from bowling leagues.
Right.
You have a bowling league and, I'm just going to go down the street for a quarter less. Well, okay, you go down the street for a quarter less, what do you get? You get a quarter less.
Right.
And that's been that's something that I'm glad to see people are starting to finally understand, that it's not just a price-driven, it's not a commodity.
Right.
Bowling's not a commodity, it's a sport. It's a pastime, it's leisure activity. It's, those are things that it's not a commodity.
Right.
Because me, Scott, we had that in, Lafayette was a very competitive market. For a long, long time. It was a very competitive market when I was there. And
you also had 3 centers, and
yep.
And it's always sad to see one go away. I grew up bowling at Star Lanes,
Yep,
and obviously it was a different name when you were there. I've always known it. From my start in the sport, it was Star Lanes, and unfortunately, a lot of centers, as you know, Dave, being a proprietor, it's a tight-knit community, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of centers that have, unfortunately, closed their doors from those tough years in 2020 and 2021. So,
well, it's kind of like the retail apocalypse if you think about it. When you look at this box, and this is a 48,000 square foot box. What do I have different here than the bowling alley across the street? We're all got lanes. We've got a bar. We've got a restaurant. Okay, bowling built the same box over and over and over and over again. Well, so did Kmart. So did Walmart. So did Target. They all built the same box. But it's how you evolve that box to cater to everybody.
Right.
I mean, the league bowling today is nowhere near what it was 20 years ago, or 15 years ago for that matter. Yeah. It's nowhere near what it was. And your league bowling is always your bread and butter. That's your bread and butter because that's what your weekly constant is. Today it's about variety. It's about being able to offer all different activities. Like, even though we're hosting a huge tournament here, we still have a ton of activities for people to enjoy while they're not bowling. You don't have to go out for food and beverage. We've got a huge restaurant and bar. We've got games for the kids if they want to play. And you have to look at that today and take that box and reinvent it, or then it becomes, I'm going to go down the street for a quarter.
Right.
And that's the frustrating part to me for bowling, is that somebody would say that or do that or whatever. But I'm very fortunate. I'm in a few markets that I have good competition, and I'm in markets where I don't have competition. But that's also a difficult thing because you got to be on your game all the time.
Right. Well, you're in competition, maybe just not in the same realm, but you're up against all entertainment venue, right?
Oh, well, we're more against now. It becomes people forget we're looking at gas stations. We're looking at the grocery stores. Not just things not just entertainment, because the discretionary dollar, has been squeezed a little bit right now.
Right. Yeah.
With inflation.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very careful, and you just treat them the way you expect them to be treated. You give them a good product, a clean center, good food, hot beverages, hot beverages, hot food.
Cold beverages?
Cold beverages,
Come on.
Thank you. I can't even recite my own damn corporate motto. But, those are the things you got to do. and you're here for everybody.
Yeah.
You're not just here for one person or one group. You're here for everybody now. And everybody makes that ecosystem work for you. God, that was a lot of blabber for not a whole lot of big answers. Sorry, guys.
Well, when you're done here, you can go into politics.
Okay, that's not something we discuss on the air.
That's where we'll leave it at, Dave.
Yeah.
We won't go any farther.
Oof.
All right, game number 2 wrapping up here. We got some good scores. We got a big string here. A gentleman with 6 open in the first has what looks like a 7-bagger.
Yep.
And he's getting ready to bowl on, looks like lane 11.
That would be one of my bowlers from Kokomo, Eric Matthews.
You know, you haven't seen a whole lot of 6, 7, 8-baggers.
No.
Oh, and he blows a 9-pin out.
Great shot there. No, we're seeing this. We're seeing some bigger scores. We don't know if it translates into bigger series, but we've seen some bigger individual games.
It's putting it together in this house, moving 14 pairs or 14 lanes.
Right.
You know, and the characteristics of championship are very simple. The low end plays tighter than the high end. Low end has always played a little bit tighter. And just like at Star, the low end played tighter than the high end. You know why that is, Scott?
Well, I'm suspecting it's because it's closer to the kitchen.
You would be not 100% correct on that one. But do you remember the days back when we had the pad machine?
Oh, yeah.
And you had to oil the lanes?
I remember the pad machine. That's
You
where I got
remember?
my start. Yeah.
So you were supposed to follow the directions on the pad machine and oil 6 lanes and stop.
Yep, and let it rest.
And let it rest.
Nobody ever did.
And no one ever did. So what happened as you went from low end to high end?
It ran.
It ran out. The oil got thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. So that's why a lot of the high ends hook a little bit more than the low end because they started on one end.
Those wicks would dry out.
The wicks would dry out. There'd be less oil down there.
I remember.
So there causes a little bit more friction in the lane.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's partially my fault there.
Yeah, you screwed my center up, didn't you? I remember that.
But hey, I was just doing what my bosses were telling me to do.
Well,
I was trying to tell them
I'm sure a
differently,
little bit too has to do with humidity, heat. Those kind of elements can lay a little bit, but yeah, and look where oiling has come. You know, when you have the old the Phoenix S and the Phoenix machines.
I love that.
I still have a folder at home with the old patterns from the Phoenix, the pad machines.
Yeah.
Like your clicks, you just heard click going down the lane.
Now you have
Click,
machines
click,
that
click.
walk themselves, and
Yeah.
I've got a few of those. Tell you what, they're wonderful. They're wonderful, but you got to keep an eye on them. They're just like a child.
Oh yeah.
You let them go a little crazy, and they'll go crazy. They're just like a child.
Well, so what's your rest of your day look like today? Are you going to stick around for the rest of this, or are you about to make a major exit?
I wish I could say I would make a major exit, but no. I'm Masters Weekend. I like to be here, just because we're so busy, and I like to make sure my 2 hands are still in good shape if someone needs me to wash dishes or get beer or go scrub an approach. I'll still twerk when I go out there, but you know how that goes. So I like to make sure I'm an extra set of hands. Plus, I like to go through and chit chat with everybody. There's a lot of people here I know, and a lot of people I like to thank for being here. I mean, you guys being here is always a thrill for me, and it's
some of these people you only get to see once a year sometimes.
True,
right?
That's true, and
it's a huge social event. I mean, it's a major tournament. It's the biggest tournament in the state of Indiana.
But
it's also
very social.
a big social event. I mean, it's once a year where you have people from as far south as Evansville to as far north of Angola and up in that region that come to Anderson on one weekend to try to claim a major state award here.
And it's fun to see everybody. And it's actually fun to see, people like you were talking about with, all the new entries. You might know them from another tournament, or they may bowl somewhere and, know them from your centers, but it's really cool to actually see them here, for the first time at the Masters and, give it a run. Unfortunately, we were first time here. You're going to find out it's not very easy.
Well, it's Chad and I were laughing because we're going to be here. We're here. We're back in 2 weeks. then we're back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For the Queens, and that's always an exciting one. And it's really nice to see the Queens growing.
Oh yeah,
it is.
And I'd like to see it get bigger. Who knows? Maybe one day we have a 2-day event. I don't know, but it's really nice to see the ladies respond to this event.
They have, and the format. They've for so many years they had such a great format before the associations merged, and I know one of the biggest concerns that they had was losing, that tournament kind of in the shuffle when everything kind of merged. And I'm so happy that they were able to take that tournament and really revive it, because, like I said, it almost got lost in translation with the merger. And I'm so glad. What did we have? 98 girls last year.
Yeah, we're just on the cusp of 100 entries,
and that's awesome.
Yeah,
and so I think, and it's also nice to see the half a dozen ladies that came out to bowl in the Masters. I mean, that's wonderful to see, and it's just good for bowling. It's good for our sport to have these tournaments.
Oh, he got a Brooklyn strike in the
second. Blew it to 5.
Oh, he's got a chance at 276 here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's got
blue or 9, little Brooklyn. That's what you got to do here.
Hey, you got to get some breaks.
It's better than going through the nose and
Yeah, big 4. Yeah.
Or flagging a 10 pin.
11 in a row here if he gets the next one in the 10th. It'll be the biggest game we've seen all week.
We had
all weekend, I should say, or all day today.
In all these years, have we ever had a 300 in the Masters?
No.
We've had a 299, I believe.
I'm not sure who did that.
I think that was like 5 years ago for squad. It was on 5 and 6, I believe. Someone had 299.
I don't recall that, but that was probably prior to us live streaming. So usually
take the Brooklyn for 275.
275.
But Dave, when you don't bowl well or whatever, you don't tend to stick around for 15 hours in a bowling center. So it might have been a squad I missed. So.
Yeah, but we've definitely never had a 300 in the Masters.
No. We never had a 300 in the Lafayette Open either.
299.
We had 299 by Kyle Sherman.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that.
2015.
Yeah, I think Vinny Atria had a 289 once.
Yeah.
Was that the 2015 was the year we opened the gutter up?
It might have
been.
Yeah,
he was throwing a black hammer, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, urethane.
That was the first time we ever opened the gutter up, and I remember that tournament.
He was playing right off
Scott
the
was
gutter.
so mad at me at first. He was so mad at me. He goes, geez, I got 900s. I got 3 of them. I said, Scott, the scores are over. Don't worry. The first squad was your strongest. And then it became, okay, look, cuts the same, numbers were the same, people were the same. And then the individual who shot 900, it was the next day. They played tough the next day.
Yeah.
They always did.
Yeah, anytime you keep stripping and oiling, and we always would double strip on the first day.
Yeah.
And that way there was no memory of anything on the lanes. And
same as we do here, strip them twice.
That surface, being the AMF Anvilane, boy, it was an older version, and it was Friction City.
Those gutters just flew when they were open, but those were some great times. I've been out. If you can believe this will scare you, Scott. I'll be out of that bowling center 6 years in May.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 6 years ago that I walked away from that center.
But one thing that's nice about it that would always give you a positive memory is the fact that got you started.
Absolutely, it did.
Yeah.
And now look what you've done, right? And
what have I done? What have I done?
You do that every day, don't you?
Check you in a psychiatric ward after we're done here, right?
When it's great until the mortgage check has to be written, and that's 3 numbers and a comma, and you just kind of go, oh boy.
Yeah, right.
And then there's 3 more numbers and then a decimal point, and you just go, oh boy.
Well, I got to help pay some bills here. I want to thank these sponsors for today's broadcast of the Indiana Masters. I want to thank RT Tour Experience. It's time for you to invest in your game. Locations in Pinheads, All-Star Bowl, and Muncie Lanes. Pinheads Entertainment Center. They have it all. Bowling, games, birthday parties, corporate events, and private suites. Go to bowlatpinheads.com. And Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shops. Don't settle for anything less than victory. Locations inside Royal Penn Woodland, Western, and Expo in Indianapolis. So we want to thank those sponsors here. Your watching this program on Savage Bowling TV. We're going to provide you full coverage today, front and back, on all the qualifying squads, and we'll have full coverage tomorrow with the semifinal round, game of 2, with the seeds 17 through 48. And then we'll have all of the double elimination match play. Mike Albee will be coming into the booth and joining us tomorrow here on Savage Bowling TV. So we want to thank everyone for hanging out with us here on a Saturday afternoon. Scott Gilmore, Dave Small, the owner of Championship Lanes, and Chad Lester here in the broadcast booth. This is the C Squad here at the Indiana Masters, and game number 2 wrapping up, and game number 3 about to take place. And we'll bring you probably the final standings of the C Squad at the start of the final squad of the evening, and we'll stay on the air until we have our cut score announced. And once we do that, we'll log off for the evening. And I probably can guarantee you one thing: Dave will probably not be here when we do the cut score.
Actually, how much you want to bet on that?
Well, you might be. You'll probably be in the bar. You'll probably be in the bar.
I'll probably be having a drink at that point. I'll be needing one.
Hey, I just want to thank your GM. Angie does a wonderful job. She's been taking care of us, getting us water, and got us our dinner tonight, which, we only get a chance to eat once, unfortunately, because the food's so great here. But we'll come back tomorrow morning. Got to get a breakfast bowl in the morning, so we'll be back for that. But we love the cookies and the food. You guys do a great job here. You talk about trying to lose 10, I come here and I gain 10. So thank you. Do I send a bill to you for that?
Sure, why not? What the heck? It's all good.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all good. Well, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. It's always great to catch up. We don't get to see each other as much as we used to when you were in Lafayette, but we always enjoy coming to all your facilities, and we appreciate you supporting tournaments.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all being here, and you need some cookies?
Oh, yeah.
I'll send Angie.
He always wants.
I'll send Angie.
I shouldn't.
She's a lot prettier than me.
I shouldn't have the cookies, but I will.
Yeah, we'll always take it. We're never going to turn them down.
Why not?
Well, thanks, David. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
All right, have a good night.
Have a good one.
All right, Dave Small, everyone. One of the wonderful supporters and proprietors here in the state of Indiana. And, hey, Joel, glad you're watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. And we hope you're enjoying the broadcast here. And it's just amazing to see when you just kind of, we're down here on 7 and 8. It's a 42-lane center, or 42 or 44? 44 lane center. And you just stand up, and it's just wall-to-wall people all the way down.
Yeah, it's just not the bowlers who come. They bring their wives, their girlfriends. A few people bring their kids.
Yeah, it's just.
And then other people from around this area who may not bowl.
Right.
Come to see people that they do know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you just stand up and look down, and and you see wall-to-wall people. It's always great to see everyone come out at full field again here at the Indiana Masters. And I told Jeff Circle, I said, you do a pretty good job running these things, but I have to think that you committing to all these live streams has really made an improvement. We brought all these new bowlers that you have. I would never say that, but now they just heard it probably in the tournament office. So I'm probably gonna get somebody out here.
A little bit of truth to that, but Jeff does a great job running the tournament and promoting the tournament, and he's got it down to a science. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
As far as how this tournament runs. Sure, the squads run behind. That's not his fault. That's just because we have a full field.
Yeah, it takes time to bowl.
It takes time.
And you got to rerun the lanes.
Rerun the lanes, so it's not a bad problem to have, and I don't think anybody ever complains about it.
No.
If it runs 30, 45 minutes.
I look at it this way. It's, being a tournament director, an immense amount of work.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think people realize how much work Jeff puts into this.
For months.
So when he sees a full squad, every squad, that's your reward.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And obviously this is a huge reflection of all the time and effort. And then obviously the marketing and the live streaming, that all helps. It creates awareness. It creates excitement. People will tell you they love to be on the live stream. You'll see people messaging their friends, "Hey, I'm going to be on TV." So it's a great collaboration and a great partnership. And as you and I know, Chad, we're thrilled to be the official voice of all the Indiana State,
of course,
USBC scratch events, and it's a true honor to be here. And it's just a lot of fun, and it's a lot of time here, but we enjoy every minute of it.
Oh yeah, and it's also pretty rewarding for us to see some bowlers clip, themselves throwing some shots and making a social media post and thanking us. We saw our friends at Inside Bowling clip Kevin McCune throwing his winning shot.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan clipped that for Inside Bowling.
Yeah.
And that was from our live stream.
Yeah, it was from our live stream. And
so we know he's watching it.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you see that.
Yeah. And so, Kevin lofted it probably 40 feet down the lane for his winning shot of the Masters. So, when you're getting that kind of attention, we're doing something right. And then when you hear people say thank you as they leave, or in the chat, or comments on the video, or whatever, that's when you feel good about it.
All right, game 2 wrapping up here for the pair in front of us on 7 and 8, and some pairs are already in the 4th or 5th frame. So,
yep. Well, 13 and 14 just had finished. Well, they're in the not first frame, but there's some other pairs that are slower than others, and but it goes fast.
Boy, when you're bowling, it goes real fast.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't realize how fast the games go by when you are bowling.
You don't have time to think for the next shot or contemplate whether you need to change balls or not. You either got to do it or you don't do it, because next thing you know, it's your turn to bowl.
That's one thing about the old format of the USBC Nationals is you only had 4 bowlers on a pair for like singles and doubles. And if you weren't bowling good, you were constantly up. So you had no, in a league setting where you have 4 or 5 on a team, you bowl once and you're struggling a little bit. You have a little time to decompress. You have to think about what you're doing. What am I going to do? Well, you're basically up constantly. So even though you have 5 bowlers on a pair, it still goes by fast. And if you're struggling, boy, it can go by really quick. And
I've bowled in some of those where you have like this 4 or 5 on a pair, and the next thing you know, you're in the 9th frame, and you're like, oh, I'm running out of time to figure something out here.
That's what I was in game 3 this morning in the first squad. I got to like the 6th frame, and I'm like, okay, I'm running out of frames here. I have to do something majorly different, and I almost pulled it off. But it's going to be another year of myself in the broadcast booth with you and Mike, and that's okay. I enjoy that part of it. Big game for us tomorrow also on 1 o'clock, Purdue, Wisconsin. Man, for first place in the Big Ten, that's going to be huge. There's our...
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. Of course, it's at Wisconsin, so makes it a little harder when you're away from Mackey.
Yeah, but then if you get that one there, then you have a home game with them at the end of the season.
Last game of the season.
Yeah.
Which could mean a lot depending on what happens between now and then.
Yeah.
And Dylan Holford just looking at me saying, they're hard. Very hard. Oh, I'm telling you, this pattern, if you don't match up, it'll have you talking to yourself. Some of it might not be too kind either. Nick Squires here on 7 and 8. Local bowler. Looks like he's giving him the heater with 2 hands, right?
Yeah, if you can keep it online and
see who else we have here in front of us. Some pairs are a little farther ahead than others.
Yeah, some by almost by a half a game.
My Indiana State tournament teammate is bowling on 7 and 8, Michael Cottrell. We'll have to keep an eye on how Michael's doing. Ryan Sidney on 3 and 4 with a double. Of course, you are on 9 and 10 right now, Brad Slayball. Dylan Holford, Andrew Graham, I know, are 3 of the bowlers on that pair.
Andrew's from up in our area.
Yeah, Andrew from Lafayette, West Lafayette, I believe.
Yep. Bowled for Harrison. Yeah. Speaking of local high school teams, we have a local high school team that'll be here in 2 weeks, McCutcheon.
Yeah, qualified for state. I think they had a one singles player. Boys made it to the singles part of the state finals. Yeah, we're going to have team event on Saturday, the 17th of February, and then we'll have singles on the 18th.
Yeah.
We've had some past high school state champions bowl. Bailey Maverick bowling here. He was a singles winner.
We want to say it's 2017 in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, you forget how long it's been.
Yeah.
You know, one thing, we owe a ton of debt of gratitude to Indiana High School Bowling, IHSB. They were the ones that gave us our first break when it came to live streaming. And
this will be our 9th year.
Yeah, we're excited. Again, it'll be you, myself, and Mike Albee bringing you all the action right here in Championship Lanes for the boys and girls state finals. That, you know, will be an exciting weekend.
Yeah.
2-day event this year.
Team on Saturday, singles on Sunday, and we'll be tearing down as the PBA is loading in. So a lot going on for Dave as we load out, and
yes,
they bring all their stuff in. And
of course, for us, we're going to be a little different than here. We'll be on the other end of the house.
Yeah.
We'll be down on, I think, what, 37, 38?
Yeah, 35 through 38 are the championship pairs. And I've already been down there to scope it out, and looks like it's going to work out, I think. And we've already talked to Shannon, who's the head mechanic here, who hooks us up with the internet connection and power, and he'll have everything ready for us. And
Yeah, John Verbich just shared me his. He threw one ball. He threw the Ebonite big time for all 8 games in Crawfordsville.
Wow.
And 226, 268, 215, 238, 237, 205, 275, 218. Pretty solid day.
Yeah, not too bad.
He was planning, if he did not bowl well today, I think he was going to bowl the very last squad today.
Nighttime squad, yeah. That's a lot of bowling.
Yes.
And traveling. You know, Crawfordsville's farther away from where we, you know, it's another half an hour drive at least.
I got to check my sports scores.
Cowboys aren't playing this weekend, sorry.
Yeah, I know. Or next weekend.
Or next weekend, yeah.
Oh, Duke of North Carolina playing.
I saw that. They had it up on the screen, I think.
Yeah, Indiana got beat today by Penn State. Not good for if you're a Hoosier fan. Rutgers beat Michigan by 10 at Michigan. Boy, wow. Juwan Howard's program falling like a rock. All right, back to bowling here. Hey. They don't pay me to talk about college basketball. Although somewhere down the road, that's something I always wanted to do. I thought, man, I'd love to do play-by-play for Fox or ESPN or CBS for college basketball. That was my sport. Of course, I came from a short family, so basketball was out of the cards for me.
Well, I played basketball in elementary school and first part of middle school, but in elementary school I was the tallest kid. In 5th and 6th grade, then I kind of just stopped growing.
I always laugh. I think I stopped growing when I was like 12. Yeah. My youngest son, Landon, he's so depressed that he's not going to be very tall.
Yeah.
But luckily, I told him, I said, you don't have to be tall to play baseball.
No, he's a good baseball player.
Yeah, luckily he's good at that, and he's in the process of working out for his high school team, and hopefully he'll make one of the JV teams for his freshman year, and we get to go watch some baseball in April and May.
I always like when spring training starts because spring's right around the corner.
Yeah, for me, it was like the Masters golf tournament.
Yeah, that too. That's a little bit farther in April.
That's early in April, but that you always felt like, okay, now weather should be changing, right?
Yeah.
Dylan Holford playing way in on lane 10. Oh, gets a break. Gets a break. And he might get a golf clap from a few people. But you could just see it on the faces of a lot of guys that aren't locked in. It's just stressful. You just see this. Every ball is a challenge mentally. It just looked like, saw Nick there. It's like just waiting for it to grab and make the corner, and it just doesn't do it. See, I see
the last frame it did.
Yeah.
He threw the exact same shot.
See, Tishan Doby is bowling. Another one of our guys that bowl in our league in
fellow league
Lafayette
bowler.
at Market Square Lanes. I didn't see scores from how Ryan Burton was doing, another Purdue bowler that's talented. I don't know if they have the scores updated yet after 2.
They don't. I just checked, but they're in the middle of putting them in. I saw some updated.
Gotcha.
And some not. Ryan Burton, no.
I didn't see his first score, but I didn't look. I guess I could. I have a sheet.
No, you have the sheet, yes.
Let's see. I see Dwayne. I don't see Ryan.
Yeah, Dwayne goes. That was another squad.
Yeah, I don't see him in the top 99 scores after game 1.
Oh.
So that means he shot worse than 170. Now, there's a lot of names here, so I could be missing.
Yeah. Ryan Burton after he goes 140. Oh. Well, the last squad he goes 149, 179, 148.
Oof.
Is he bowling this squad?
Well, maybe he's not. Hey, I just was handed game 2 scores.
Well, there we go.
So, game 2, let's see here. The highest bowler right now in this squad is Jimmy Cook at plus 32. Jordan Bryant at plus 17. Trevor Parov at plus 16. Andrew Graham was plus 11.
He's not bowling good this game.
Yeah, Scott Higginbotham was plus 11. Eric Matthews, get this, Eric Matthews shot 275. 275 his second game. Well, the problem was he shot 131 his first game.
Oh, geez. Well, they made a lot of it up.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's always – hey, what a comeback, though, you know.
Yeah. You just got to hope he doesn't go back the other way too much. This last game.
Right. And let's see here. We have Brad Slayball at plus 5. Cameron Clark plus 5. Jacob Young plus 5.
Matt Sanders just arrived.
All right, no.
This is the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like he's going to join us
next
squad.
Yeah,
cool.
Matt Sanders will join us here in the next squad. So, yeah, right now you have handful of guys that are just barely over after 2 games. Bailey Maverick is even after 2 with 199, 201. Ryan Pittman shot 227 his second game, so he went from minus 28 to minus 1. So you're looking at 48th being minus 13. Minus 13 right now. And I don't know what the load of cash is going to be.
Sometimes they put it on the spreadsheet that I have here.
Load of cash minus 14 right now.
They have it on.
So, but that doesn't have 100 entries factored in.
Right.
So right now load of cash would be 49, or no, 52nd would be load of cash. So right now they're looking at paying 52 spots. They're going to pay, you figure it's got to be 1 and 5, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You might pay 80 spots before this is all said and done. That's just unbelievable to think, to pay that many people. You get that many in this squad. Just, again, fantastic job by Jeff Circle and the entire staff here for the Indiana And, somebody just drops off some cookies to us.
It wasn't Dave. It wasn't Angie.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Somehow Jerry from the board.
Yeah.
That just got handed down. So now they're cold.
Well, they weren't made. They weren't. Angie
Usually
was
get it fresh. Yeah.
Angie's nice and always makes some for us,
Yeah.
but that's okay. These are just
I'm
as
not
good.
complaining. But it just says they keep getting handed down until now they're cold. You take them. No, you take them. We take these?
All right. Game's wrapping up here on 9 and 10 already.
Yep, and 13 and 14 is what we'll go down to next. They're going to be with a couple frames left by the time 9 and 10 gets done. They're one of the slower pairs. I think 5 and 6 or 7 and 8 here was a little bit slower too because they had a breakdown earlier, so that's kind of impacted the move a little bit.
Boy, 1 and 2 has been a tricky pair all weekend so far, all day today. I was talking to, Jeremy Adler, a former Purdue player, bowled in my time frame.
Yep.
He shot 640 his second squad, and he said that he averaged about anywhere from 6 on to 1. He was on 1 and 2, 1 squad. He averaged about 150 down here, and then like 220 or plus down on the high end.
Well, 3 and 4 is always that problem pair. Tomorrow will be 5 and 6. They will not use 3 and 4 because they'll start the finals on 5 and 6 and go to the high end.
Imagine these guys on 7 and 8. They're about halfway done with their game. It's 7:15. Probably got another 15, 20 minutes.
It'd be a 9:30 start.
I don't think so. I think
be quicker than that. You think?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it'll be after 9.
Yeah,
but not much.
It's been about. The squad started 40 minutes late, so you figure at least that. You're not going to make up any time.
This squad has bowled at a pretty good pace.
Yeah.
And he's got a little bit more time factored in between this squad and the next.
All right, 9 and 10's done here. Switches over to 13 and 14. 15 and 16.
Oh, looks like we got Shelby Newton bowling down here.
Looks like 15 and 16's done. 5 and 6 is done. So 13 and 14 is the only pair left of any of our championship pairs.
Yeah, I see Aaron Jones down there bowling.
Yeah.
To the right of Shelby. Her pair just finished. You can kind of get an idea, too, Chad, just on facial expressions of how well someone is bowling,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Body language, facial expressions.
Some guys are going to be glad it's over with. And
well, yeah, and you can also tell the way somebody's throwing a ball, too, if they're just kind of like hard and straight. Let's just get out of here.
Boy, 1 and 2 has not been kind today.
No.
I don't think 3 and 4 has been as bad as 1 and 2. But it's been a challenge down there. Now, some guys have bowled really well on it. There's been a few guys that have had good games on it. But then I've seen a lot of tough games.
That loft's helping him. They're on.
Yeah, that's my state teammate,
Yeah.
Mr. Cottrell, lofting it past the heads.
Can't hook if it's in the air.
That's right. Well, I don't think anybody's going to pass Zach Weidman for the number 1 seed.
No. At least this squad.
I'm not sure anybody's going
to. It
to.
can happen. You never know.
Are you? If you're a bet man, are you betting that somebody's going to beat that?
Probably
or
not, but
no.
you just never know.
Well, you got to figure there's 200 entries after him.
Yeah, and nobody's come close.
And you're going to have Jimmy Cook's the highest guy in this squad right now at plus 32.
Yeah, and Mike Bankert bowled that same squad as Zach.
So did James Sutton.
So the top 3 were from the first squad. Kyle Weeman.
He bowled the first squad.
So we have the top 4.
I think Clifford Dukes bowled the second.
He bowled this last squad.
Yeah, Jeremy Adler came off the B squad.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where Ben Caldwell came from, but, you just had to have like Ben, 220, 160, 240. You just had to have Jeremy goes 160, 20, 260.
Yeah.
You had to have a big game in there at some point to help, because it was just hard to do 3 solid games in a row.
Yeah, talk about, shooting, say, 220, and you get a lot of confidence, and you go down to the next pair, and you're just confidence gone.
Right, right. I mean, look at Dwayne Burton here. 180, 155, 278 for plus 13. And he's gonna make the cut.
Yeah.
The challenge in this event is not only the lane pattern is tough, but you are bowling you're bowling throughout the entire house.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing I think makes it so fair, is that if you start on 3 and 4, I finished on 31 and 32.
Yeah.
So
if you're running a tournament, that's exactly how it needs to go. You don't, in a 44 lane house of bowl 3 games, you don't go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You just don't. You got to make sure, because as we've seen, this low end has not been conducive to high scores. High end a little bit better, hooks a little bit more. So if that plays to your strength, hook, have a little bit more hook, you're not going to, you'll never see it.
Well, Chad, it's officially dark outside.
I know. Has been probably for about an hour. Of course, they have the windows tinted, so you can't see out very well.
But it's 7:30.
Yeah.
A couple more frames here for 7 and 8. Rodney English there coming up high.
You.
Okay, we've got 7 and 8 with working in their, finishing up their 9th frame.
13 and 14 here, finishing, just starting their 10th frame. So we're about done. Looks like there's still some bowling going on, clear down to 27 and 28. Everybody else is done beyond that. Well, no. Farther down.
There's a few lanes going, not many.
Yeah.
This
down
squad
to the
is
39 and 40 range.
This squad is almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to hang out with us here in the next squad. Matt Sanders will be joining us in the broadcast booth for the final squad of the night. Going to be interesting to hear what he has to say about the U.S. Open. He bowled so well in qualifying and, got to match play, and it just wasn't friendly to the lefties. And so it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say about that.
Yeah, we talked to him in between Game 7 and the position round last night, just as he was waiting around, and he was pretty frustrated, understandably. And I think most other lefties probably were too. You made a good comment. The lefties were all pretty much down at the, low end of the standings all together during the position round. Just the way it goes sometimes, right? I don't think anybody can predict how the condition's going to evolve.
Well, and you could tell, like, right after the first round of match play, Matt was in second place, and then he immediately dropped to 17th. So it's not like he went from second to 6th or 7th, 8th, right? It was a pretty quick drop.
Yeah. It was like after, 2 or 3 games maybe?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, geez.
So that pretty much tells you that, he wasn't shooting, he was losing matches, and he wasn't shooting very big games.
Nope.
I mean, some of those guys on the right side, Kyle Troop was shooting like 1880 for 8 games, and that's scratch. So I mean, that's 280 over. So they're putting up 270s or 260s in some of their wins, and
the lefties didn't feel like they had that out there.
No,
at all.
Well, and all the lefties were playing outside of 8, 9 left of that, and you had the right-handers playing 25 at almost from the start.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Matt last night. He was playing in. It looked like, just from the clips I saw from qualifying, it looked like he was able to play with the gutter. So I wonder if they didn't have the gutter.
Right.
Somebody shoots 220 down there on 13 and 14.
Boy, that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, you have 199, 203. A gentleman here with a chance to shoot 211. I think that's Michael Cottrell with a chance to shoot 211 if he strikes out. He was flirting with the all-strike, no-spare game. He was able to 9-spare it in the third. That's my state tournament teammate.
One last shot here on 13 and 14.
All right, that's going to conclude qualifying here in the C squad here at the Indiana Masters. We'll have final squad standings at the start of D squad, which will probably be sometime around 9 o'clock, would be my guess.
Yeah, 9 to 9:15, somewhere around there.
And then we'll stay on the air until we have the top 48.
Yep.
We'll announce all of that, and then we'll call it a night here from Championship Lanes in Anderson. Matt Sanders will join us for the D squad. And we'll be back here as you're watching the Indiana Masters on Savage Bowling TV.